Cronenbourg 564. Sponsor du Tour de France.
For British cycling, the dream has come true. The world's greatest race, the Tour de France, arrives on the south coast. Dover Castle welcomes the entourage of 3,000, all entertained by the pageantry befitting a great event. The Prince of Wales Royal Regiment, first the trumpeters, then the band. To add even more glamour, America's Dallas Pom-Pom Girls. And falling from 4,000 feet, the Tigers parachute team leader Ian Cashman. He arrives with the race leader's yellow jersey. At 10:45, the flag drops. The race in Britain has begun. The route, 206 kilometres, going from Folkestone onto Canterbury through Ashford, Royal Tunbridge Wells and over Ditchling Beacon to Brighton. And here we are now at the finishing line in Brighton. And if you ask anybody along the race route today, it's quite clear who they would love to win the stage. One of the two British riders, Sean Yates or Chris Boardman. We asked them the question, can they?
No, it's very hard. It's very hard in the finals here, and I've had pretty good legs, so I might have a dig and wait and see.
Well, today obviously it's in my country. I'll be looking for opportunities with the Tour. There is no quarter given, so I'll be looking for opportunities, but I'm not going to be staying away all day, and I'm going to tax myself because I'm looking towards that next time trial.
Well, it's not only a big day for Britain, but it's also a big day for the new race leader in Johan Museeuw of Belgium. Overall, he leads Miguel Indurain by 10 seconds and Rolf Sorensen by 19. Sean Yates is 9th, and Chris Boardman now back to 20th. On the first climb, which came at Blackhouse Hill after 16 kilometres, the King of the Mountains leader, fittingly, Peter de Klerk, was first ahead of Claudio Chiappucci and the Australian Neil Stevens.
Today the weather's perfect for racing. A cool start to the day and then sunny with a few showers in the afternoon and a light southerly wind. Temperatures, though, will be in the low 20s.
And another day in the Tour de France and another faller. This time it's the GAN teammate of Chris Boardman, Didier Roux, but at least he was soon up and riding again. But by the time the race reached Ashford and the special sprint point, Francisco Cabello from Spain, who'd broken away after only 20 kilometres, had been joined by the Frenchman, Frédéric Magnon. The pair of them now had built a massive lead over the field of 5 minutes. This was the warning bells for the GB team of Johan Museeuw to start the chase. A well-disciplined outfit they are too. They were soon at the head of the field. They were holding the time gap to round about 5 minutes. And then a nice piece of tradition in the world of cycling when enemies become friends. Even the GB team stopped the chase when Sean Yates moved ahead to greet his family in the Ashdown Forest. A marvellous occasion indeed for Sean Yates, riding in his 11th Tour de France. But the race continued, and as the riders reached Ditchling, the crowds were still enormous, continuing the trend of the day. The two leaders were now facing up to Ditchling Beacon, and they were being pursued by, among others, the dangerous Italian Flavio Vanzella. At the moment, it's Cabello of Spain leading Frédéric Magnon, but the chase down has begun. And the crowds have been enormous along the route since we've come right into the heart of Sussex, and they've cheered these riders all of the way. But there is a chase group forming. It's a serious move indeed, because Flavio Vanzella, lying 4th in this race, just 22 seconds off the yellow jersey, is on the attack. With him is Rob Harmeling of Holland and Mario de Klerk of the Belgian Lotto team. And with them too was the man that started the move. He's got a great name. It's Wanderlei Magalhães from Brazil. We've never seen him before, but in fact what happened was he punctured and has got back to the main field. The race is now in the village of Ditchling, which means that the next stop will be the big climb, which will take them over the top of the beacon. And here's the chase now. I think that they'll come together before the end.
This is a very good, strong chase group coming through here. These riders just got clear before, but the gap is still just 3 minutes, and it may well be that if the first two riders don't weaken towards the end, they may well pull off the surprise and stay clear in this Tour de France. But the group of three behind, especially with Van Zelle, is very dangerous, and it may well be that it'll come all back together as we get into the streets of Brighton.
And just look at this now, a puncture on the climb as we approach Ditchling Beacon. This really is sad. This is the man who started it all, Francisco Cabello. Well, we saw earlier on that the chase man punctured at Magalhães. Now we are seeing here that the puncture has come to Cabello. And the question is, as he starts the climb of Ditchling, Paul, whether in fact Magnan will wait for him.
Well, it would be an intelligent move if he did, because Cabello is a much better climber than Magnan. As we get round the corner here, we can see the cars just in front. He didn't lose a great deal of time, not as much definitely as Magalhães did before, and I think before we get to the top of the climb, we'll see the climber from Spain get back up there into contention.
I think that Magnan will try to control his pace. He needs Cabello to help him survive to the end, if indeed they can survive. And there you can now see that Magnan is pacing himself on the climb, awaiting the return of Francisco. And now we're on the climb of the beacon itself, and this is where the crowd is going to be at its thickest. And coming right back up to him, and I don't suppose the crowd realised that Cabello has punctured him. I think he was being dropped by the Frenchman, but in fact, nothing could be further from the truth. Cabello has now rejoined the Frenchman as the climb itself steepens.
Definitely, he looks across there, he's trying to talk to him, probably a little bit of French, a little bit of Spanish, saying, look, I waited for you, just let's take it easy as we get over the top of the climb. And now the three chasers are going through the 25-kilometre banner, and it's Rob Harmeling is getting dropped and leaving away the two riders in front of him. The big Dutchman, who's having a hard time yesterday, just can't quite get over the steep climbs here.
Well, Harmeling has never, ever professed to be a climber. He's a very strong man on the flat, but when you get a little climber here like Van Zelle, sits there and pedals the low gears, Mario de Klerk is going to have to find his work cut out to stay with him as well. But you know, Paul, this is turning out to be quite surprising. If Van Zelle gets rid of all the riders with him, he's free as a bird, and he's in yellow tonight.
In fact, on this climb here, he could really get rid of Mario de Klerk, because Van Zelle looked exceptionally good. These two riders now just taking it side by side up Ditchling Beacon. They've had a hard day together in front. They've been in front for an awful long time, and they realise that they both need each other. Now, this is Van Zelle putting the pressure on behind on the beacon, and it looked to me as if de Klerk was just about losing the wheel.
Oh, and you were right, he's lost the wheel. And so now de Klerk has cracked as well, and Flavio Van Zelle, fourth this morning, 22 seconds off the yellow jersey, is now free to go and take the race lead. He will not be chased by his team, because obviously, even though they lose their team leader in Johan Museo, the jersey passes across to a teammate, and Museo will drink champagne with him, and that will be fine. We're sorry about the little bit of picture interference we have here. It's because of conditions linking up to our helicopters over the climb here of Ditchling Beacon. But as you will appreciate, they're pretty exciting shots. And what a marvellous crowd here as these two riders go towards the summit. I would say in distance that Van Zelle is no more now than half a mile behind.
He really isn't very far behind, and you can almost see the difference in speed. These two riders really suffering on the beacon.
Under the 25 kilometres to go banner, even though in Britain we talk miles, you see the riders are told in kilometres. That's just over 15 miles from the finish, and the crowd is wonderful on top of the beacon. And as you can see, not a bicycle in sight, because they weren't allowed to bring them up here, nor their cars, because the road is simply, this is all there is. There is the road you see, and the rest is countryside.
Cabello takes the King of the Mountains prize there, but as I said earlier in the day, these two riders aren't contesting these sprints. They're of secondary importance to them. Their most important aim today is to try and stay clear and get that stage victory, and it looks now as if Van Zelle is closing down from behind. Van Zelle has got rid of everybody now. He's obviously thinking about trying to get up to the two riders in front. He realises now that at the end of the road here in Brighton, he could have his first yellow jersey of his career, and that would be a fantastic thing.
And so Van Zelle goes over the top, the Italian, and he won't have seen crowds like this even in his home tour of Italy, because these are truly very, very good indeed. And here is Cyril Guimard, the manager of Magnan, coming up to probably tell him, you know, this could work out, and he's explaining to him that Van Zelle is now chasing him on his own. That will come through as a surprise. And so, as the race progresses, we'll take a break.